Teogonia, the spring 2025 anime adaptation of Tsukasa Tanami's light novel, has embarked on its ambitious journey to blend low fantasy grit with isekai intrigue. Produced by Asahi Production, the series follows Kai, a village boy in the war-torn borderlands, as he grapples with mysterious past-life memories and newfound magical powers. Episode 2, titled Lady Jose, builds on the premiere's introduction of Kai's world, shifting focus to his evolving abilities and his encounter with Jose, a noblewoman with her own burdens. I was immediately drawn in by the episode's promise to deepen Kai's journey and explore the societal dynamics of Lag Village. Yet I found myself torn between its flashes of brilliance and its uneven execution. Below, I offer a comprehensive analysis of Episode 2's plot, characters, themes, technical aspects, and emotional resonance, unpacking why it feels like a step forward despite stumbling along the way. Episode 2 picks up after Kai's fall into a river during training, where he discovers a weathered tombstone and awakens a mysterious power, marked by glowing sigils on his body. This event catches the attention of Jose, a noblewoman forbidden from fighting due to her gender, who witnesses Kai's transformation. As Kai recovers, he trains with Jose, forging a tentative bond while grappling with his emerging abilities, which include healing and elemental magic. The episode hints at tensions within the village's hierarchy, with nobles like Ol wielding godlike power over commoners. Meanwhile, the threat of demi-human invaders looms, setting the stage for future conflicts. I really appreciate how Episode 2 advances the main plot by cementing Kai's transformation into a figure of significance. The awakening of his sigils, a direct result of his interaction with the tombstone, marks a turning point, suggesting his past life memories are tied to a divine or magical force. This revelation fulfills the episode's role in the arc by shifting Kai from a scrappy villager to a potential guardian-bearer, raising questions about his connection to the gods and the tombstone's origins. The introduction of Jose as a key ally adds a new dynamic, hinting at a partnership that could challenge the village's rigid social order. However, I'm not entirely convinced the episode fully capitalizes on these developments. The pacing feels uneven, with the first half dragging through Kai's recovery and training, only to rush through the climactic reveal of his powers. I personally don't understand why the writers didn't balance these segments better, as the abrupt shift from quiet moments to high-stakes magic left me disoriented. The episode resolves little from the premiere's setup, such as the macaque threat, but I anticipate the focus on Kai's powers will drive the next arc. Still, I think a tighter narrative structure could have made the progression more compelling. Kai and Jose are the episode's central figures, and I love how their interactions reveal new facets of their personalities. Kai's determination to rise above his commoner status is palpable, especially in a scene where he pushes through pain to train, his gritted teeth betraying both resolve and fear. His flustered reaction to Jose's presence, kneeling before him in a moment of vulnerability, adds a touch of awkward adolescence, grounding his otherwise fantastical journey. I think this humanizes him, though I didn't like how his internal monologues occasionally over-explain his thoughts, which feels redundant given his expressive actions. Jose, voiced by Kana Hanazawa, steals the spotlight with her blend of defiance and restraint. Her frustration at being barred from combat due to gender norms reveals a deep-seated desire to prove herself, and her curiosity about Kai's powers suggests a keen intellect. I really enjoyed the moment where she quietly observes Kai's sigils, her eyes wide with a mix of awe and calculation. It hints at a complex inner world. Her actions align with her established role as a noble with limited agency, and I anticipate her partnership with Kai will spark significant growth. However, I'm against the brief fan service moment where Kai blushes at her, as it feels out of place in an otherwise serious narrative. Other characters, like Ol and Manso, remain peripheral, which I think limits the episode's depth. Episode 2 explores themes of power, inequality, and destiny, which I find resonant in the context of Kai's harsh world. The stark divide between nobles, who wield godstones and divine crests, and commoners like Kai, who scrape by on meager rations, underscores a critique of systemic injustice. Kai's awakening as a potential guardian-bearer challenges this hierarchy, suggesting that destiny can disrupt entrenched power structures. I appreciate how the episode uses Jose's character to highlight gender-based restrictions, her sideline status mirroring Kai's class-based struggles. The episode enriches Teogonia's world by fleshing out the mechanics of godstones and guardian bearers. I was fascinated by the revelation that godstones, harvested from fallen demi-humans, fuel the noble's power, while commoners like Kai are denied access. A detail that underscores the world's brutal inequality. The tombstone's role in awakening Kai's sigils introduces a mystical element, hinting at a divine hierarchy tied to the land gods. I think these additions are compelling, though I didn't like how the episode relies on expository dialogue to explain them, which feels heavy-handed. The depiction of Lag Village's daily life, training grounds, sparse meals, adds texture, but I wish the episode had explored the demi-human threat more to heighten the stakes. Asahi Productions' animation is serviceable but not spectacular. The action scenes, particularly Kai's training with Jose, are fluid enough, with dynamic sword clashes that capture their intensity. The art style, faithful to Koichiro Kawano's light novel illustrations, leans into a gritty fantasy aesthetic, with muted earth tones and detailed character designs. Kunihiro Mori's direction aims for a grounded, atmospheric mood, using tight close-ups on Kai's trembling hands and Jose's piercing gaze to highlight their emotions. Episode 2 evoked a mix of curiosity and mild frustration, with Kai's awakening sparking excitement for his potential. The most memorable moment was Jose's quiet observation of Kai's sigils, a scene that stirred intrigue about their future partnership. I also felt a pang of empathy for Jose's sidelined ambitions, a relatable struggle in a world that restricts her agency. However, the rushed pacing and expository dialogue tempered my investment, leaving me wanting more emotional depth. I think the episode prompts reflection on inequality and personal growth, but its impact feels fleeting due to structural flaws. I anticipate stronger episodes could build on this foundation, but I'm not fully hooked yet. Teogonia Episode 2 is a promising yet flawed chapter that advances Kai's journey while introducing Jose as a compelling ally. Its strengths lie in its character dynamics, thematic exploration of inequality, and solid voice acting, with Tamura and Hanazawa elevating the material. The world building adds intrigue, particularly around godstones and divine crests.